Greetings, beings. Reverend Jacob Martinez here, Crystal Haiku Guy and father of Trimes from www.artoflove.me. I'm back with your October readings. Thank God we survived Mercury retrograde. Wasn't that a hell of an eclipse too? Oh my goodness. Look, this is an M for Mature Audiences only channel. If you are not somebody that's comfortable with raw messages or being raw in your own life, probably not your guide too. Just put it out there. I will most definitely misgender probably 50% or more of you. My apologies. It's difficult to do for a large audience, and energies can flip-flop. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you how to interpret your own gender, so please feel free to assign whichever gender makes most sense, knowing that stories can flip-flop, and so can energies. Check your sun, your moon, your rising, and any other planetary influences of importance to you. You don't have to watch the beginnings of any of my videos. They tend to go a little bit long. I do 4 videos breaking them down by tribal elements. There are going to be 3 chapters for each element. If you just go under the video, into the description box, click show more, and you'll see your chapters delineated for you. Just click ahead if you like. Alright, now that I said that, for those of you that do like hearing this stuff, I have to tell you, I might have to expand my space soon. I'm looking at maybe doing a move here when I can. I'm just like got some things on the radar, a lot of changes going on, and when I was just cleaning the space here, I hadn't even touched my cards yet, okay, and I just started getting like so many messages, tons and tons and tons and tons of messages, and I don't want to say it stressed me out, but what has been kind of triggering me is that I feel like if I don't know what to do with all of this, that it's kind of like I'm not doing my job, right? So this is my service to others. I take it pretty seriously, and I clean myself a certain way to be able to do this work. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to be your witness and for connecting with me in a way that allows me to be so flooded with these messages before I even touch my decks. And I'm just going to let you know that I'm in the process of figuring out how I can maybe adjust my format and do it in a way where maybe I can figure out how to articulate those messages in a way that makes more sense for this audience, since I'm getting so many of them, and I want to be a good steward of the gifts that I've been given. So thank you for allowing me to be your witness. And on that thread too, I just have to thank you for being a kind mirror to me. When I started this channel just like a handful of months ago, it was like May when I first started, this was just my service to others. I didn't even start offering personal readings until like last month, because I've been really busy with my other job, my work that I do. I do shamanic style healing energy work here and some other things. I produce content of different kinds, and I have another business as well. But when you make an appointment with me, let's say, for a reading, and you go to my website, artoflove.me, my payment processor is a company called Stripe, and so you actually, put your credit card, and then it, saves the spot in my calendar. I get those messages like 2-3 different ways because of how they text me, and where I've set up my donations with a special PayPal link that's linked here on my YouTube and also on my website, I haven't been getting the notifications. I guess that's maybe like a Mercury retrograde thing. I don't know, but I was just in my PayPal account because I was paying for a reading from a reader here on YouTube who I really care about a lot, and I love her messages, and she uses PayPal. And so when I was going to pay for my reading with her, I looked in my PayPal account, and there was all this money that I didn't know had come in, and it was money from you all. And so, wow, what a surprise for me. And it just was an awesome kind of thing, and I didn't realize like how abundant I'd become behind the scenes just by the TLC and just, the reciprocal actions that others have taken to show me that they value what I've been contributing. So thank you for being that mirror to me, and I appreciate you. And I will just let you know that you might not know this about me. I do things a very specific way. I've groomed myself a very specific way, and the way that I seed my life and the things, everything that comes to me, tends to have a ripple effect follow it of supernatural luck. And I'm just going to tell you that for those of you who have chosen to seed my work here, my ministry, my life, my needs, I've planted those seeds for you. And so may my cosmic blessings ripple into your life in ways that astound you. Thank you for being a witness for me. I break these readings down using 5 different decks of cards. For your challenge style energy, I'm going to be using Carolyn Mace's archetype deck. It's going to give us a light and shadow attribute. For your physical and material sector, we are going to be looking with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. For the mental realm, I look with the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. For the personal, sometimes romantic sector, we use Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels Oracle deck, and I like to seal everything up with some practical advice from Archangel Michael and a prayer. So that's what you'll be getting from me. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you on the inside of your videos. Air tribes, happy birthday to all Libras in the house. Thank you so much for being here. I am just going to go ahead and start shuffling. You don't have to watch all this if you don't want to. Don't know what's going to come up. If I have anything to say or if we have any pop-outs, I'll grab the mic. Otherwise, I'm just going to be shuffling the 5 decks, and I'm going to lay them down on the spirit board. They're all backs up until I get to your sign, and we're going to go Libra, Aquarius, and we'll seal them all up on Gemini. All right. My window's open because it's beautiful out. So if you hear noises, that's what it is. If it gets too distracting, I'll go close it. It's great motorcycle weather. Okay, so I had quite a few poppers, but they like landed in sort of a stack, and nothing actually flipped. So I'm just going to hold up whatever's on the bottom. It's the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, and it's what I use for the physical material realm. Hierophant. Upright. Major Arcana. hearing something, and I'm trying to place what it is. It's a guitar solo. Well, we're born in heaven like we do down here. Will the change come while we're waiting? Everyone is waiting. Okay, now, alright, I just connected a dot. When I was recording the intro for all the videos, I kept hearing the word witness, 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 and it was my guides were telling me we were witnessing for one another right now, and that I was, you know, feeling very moved to thank you for allowing me to bear witness for you. And when I just got that Hierophant card, I started hearing a guitar solo, and I was trying to figure out what it went to, and that song that I just started singing is actually called Witness. It's a Sarah McLachlan song. It's called Witness, and I think it's on Surfacing, on her Surfacing album. It's a freaking amazing song, and I was just hearing this like really awesome guitar solo when the Hierophant came out, and it took me a minute to place it, but that's a freaking great song, and I think some of y'all are going to relate to that. And they said that you have been waiting, and I think this might be a continuation. Last readings, the mid-monthly Air Tribe videos, I was getting some very strong light, like being of light messages coming through for the light workers, and they were saying something about karmic releases, and I've been doing a lot of karmic release work over the past couple of weeks, and with all this crazy like stuff that's been going on in the world and the cosmic energy, and yeah, we're bearing witness for one another here, y'all. This is a light worker connection. There's something major going on here for many of you, and I just want to commend you for hanging in there through everything. And you might want to check out that song. I'm gonna have to listen to it again, but that riff is just like playing really loud in my mind right now, so I know it's definitely gonna resonate for some of y'all. I'm gonna finish shuffling. Couple of different cards try to turn over, but the only one that really flipped, and this is the one I'm gonna hold up, was this one here, using the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. This is 5 obstacles and challenges. This is ordinarily your 5 of Wands if you were looking in like a more traditional deck. And I actually really always like this card when it shows up in the reverse. When it's upright like this, sometimes it's just like a signal of some hassles and like bullshit, and as it says here, obstacles and challenges, and having to be really careful and sure-footed is what I'm hearing, sure-footed. As we approached those obstacles, and it flew out, but it was looking at me like this. And so I'm hearing that this is actually an answer to that question, that song that just started playing in my head when I saw the Hierophant card, which sometimes for me is like the divine showing up in your reading. It's like the divine showing up, or like maybe a message or a messenger from the other side, you know, perhaps a deceased figure that might embody some of the more masculine attributes as an archetype would have played themselves out in your life. And when they show up like that, sometimes it's a good time to ask a question, and maybe that's where that song was coming from. But the question from the song was, will we burn in heaven like we do down here? And I'm guessing maybe that's what that shit felt like for a lot of y'all. And I'm hearing some of you have been emancipated from some bullshit and you don't even know it yet. So we'll take that 5, obstacles and challenges reversed. It's a good omen in my book. I'll put this down and finish shuffling. Sorry, just adjusting my sound here. Okay, so I've shuffled everything. I've laid down all the cards, and while I was shuffling the last deck, the Archangel Michael deck, I heard the words, I heard several words. I heard division of assets. They said pending signature. And so I kept seeing somebody like going like this. And like making like a pen stroke is what it looked like, you know. And it looked like somebody that I would identify as a man, and I just saw like, you know, a pen in this individual's hand, and they were just going like this, and I heard division of assets. And then I also heard something about a soulmate, but they were saying that that's why the paperwork had to be filed. So that's not very clear to me. I don't know if that's clear to somebody there, but that's what I was hearing. But they said something about like, yes, it's a soulmate, and then I just saw like pending signature, and I heard division of assets. So whoever that's for, hopefully that lands where it should. Alright, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and get started with the readings, and since it is the Libra birthday season, we're going to start with our Libras, and then we're going to do Aquarius, and then we'll finish them all up on Gemini. So I'm just going to sort of reorient here and bring myself a little bit closer. I'm going to pause for just a second so I don't wobble everything. Alright, thanks for bearing with me. Just wanted to move a little bit so I could be more comfortable, and there was something going on with my sound last time, and so I'm trying to just make sure that y'all can hear me. Libra, happy birthday. Happy solar return. While I was just moving over here and just connecting to your energy, I kept seeing the King of Swords like reversed, and so I'm not really sure what that's all about, but hopefully whatever it is something that you know, you can see clear up pretty quickly. I feel like some people are just really frustrated because, you know, I think this Mercury retrograde might have been overemphasized for some Virgos and Libras just because of where it landed. And so maybe some of those messages were for you folks that I was seeing with the big pen stroke guy and like the division of assets, and I'm saying like pending signature and stuff. So I'm hearing that some of y'all are just like showing up upside down like that because you've been waiting for something and it's been taking a long ass time. And I'm hearing that some of it is just like Mercury shit, that it was just like Mercury slowing everybody down, and that's all it is, and that you are going to be upright, and that you will enjoy your solar return, and it's going to be a good year, Libra. So, you know, happy birthday, and I'm going to pray for all y'all that are like waiting for some kind of justice. I'm hearing something with court documents for some of y'all, and I mean, I'm seeing like thumbs up. I'm seeing like some of these guides just going like thumbs up, like it's cool, it's coming. So, you know, hopefully that's all of y'all. That would be great. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna flip your cards and we'll get started. Okay. Alright, Libra. Yeah. I'm definitely being told to start like 4 places at once. So I'm just going to jump to the prayer, okay? Because if that's where I'm going. So I think a lot of this has to do with relationships. That's what's all over this that I'm seeing first and foremost. I heard somebody like took off, and you know, you might have like a pissed off fire sign in your life or somebody that was hurt, and they're just saying that, look, It might not feel like it, but you do have some help, and so it's going to be okay. They're saying you need to like really persevere right now. You're going to know if this is for you, but I'm just going to like hold up all the cards, because if this is your relationship that's coming up, this is all you, and they're saying that might be you. I'm seeing suffering and silence, and they're saying that now's the time to like stand up for what you believe in and what's been making you strong, and that you need to give your relationship a chance. And I'm hearing for some of you, it's really your relationship with yourself right now, because that's like what's kept you doing that. So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit more for you, Libra, because that can't be for everybody. I mean, it might be for a lot of y'all, just like, you know, about a relationship and whatnot, because that's really coming through very strongly here. But I like to actually break these down card by card and sort of read the card too, because I think that since we are doing a broad stroke and looking at so many different Librans, and this could be Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, whatever people are looking at, applicable to those aspects in their life, because you can apply this anywhere that it actually fits, being that it is a general reading. Sometimes it'll make more sense if we don't get too specific and just painting stories. So if I hear a story, I'll jump out at it, and I'll also break down the cards. And that's for new people that are coming to my channel, because I heard that I just got some new Libra subscribers, and so thank you for all my new viewers that are watching this. And I'll try to make sure that it makes sense and not be like too specific to just like one type of Libra. I really like these archetype cards from Carolyn Mace. I use these for sort of your challenge style energy over the course of the month, and actually I should say really the first half, because this reading is really meant to be the first half of October. I always come back for a mid-monthly recap, but sometimes these will go longer, so it is still accurate to say overall challenge energy for the month there, Libra. Athlete! That's a great energy. Light attributes on this state dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. And the shadow attributes state misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability for entitlement. And so just a little bit about how those energies play out. That's kind of like what the baseline for the next couple of weeks is going to be like, and it's something that you might be experiencing within yourself, but also like in your world, all around you. And so if it's not how you're tempted to act, this might be how situations are playing out, or how others might be affecting you, is with that sway. And it's good to pay attention to it. I mean, some people ask, you know, is that good? Is it bad? Well, you know, darling, I don't think that life is quite so black and white, because different things that might seem good or bad to one person might have a completely different effect somewhere else. So it's more about like just understanding that all energy is dynamic, and there are, you know, opposing sides to how that energy works, and it flows on that spectrum. And so really what these cards are doing are giving you an idea of how that context might play out for this part of your month, so that you can be better aware of how you are interacting with your world, and be a little more discerning about where you can take advantage of opportunities and also prevent pitfalls, right? So I'm going to read to you what the book says about that athlete card. I've given us a buzzword to keep in mind here, Libra: Olympian. Maybe some of y'all did watch the Olympics. Maybe some of y'all were in the Olympics. If you were, congratulations. I'm going to read to you the bullet points. We've got 4 bullet points and a tip. First bullet point: ultimate expression of strength of spirit, represented by power of the body. The second one says, has strong code of ethics and morality. The third one says, professional skill level is less important than willpower and strength of spirit. And the last one says, shadow athlete manifests as misuse of strength, false sense of invulnerability, dirty play, or lack of honor that compels one to cheat. And then the tip says, look for a lifetime dedication to excellence in sport accompanied by strength of spirit. And it doesn't really have to deal with sports. Yeah, I'm hearing for some of y'all, now's a great time to kick off a health regimen. You've got a lot of energy, especially now that the sun is in your house, it's your birthday and everything. People are feeling motivated. But it doesn't just have to be about that. A lot of this is more about that internal fortitude and the ability to persevere for that which brings the light to your life. And I'm hearing that that's really important for some of y'all right now. So I am going to hammer on this mental card. I'm just going to jump over physical real quick, because what I'm hearing is that there's really strong correlation to that athlete card and the suffering and silence, and that for some of you it's really more about knowing the difference between being overly stoic and trying to die for a cause, that it's really I'm hearing for some of y'all just something that you don't need to be doing anymore, that maybe for a period it did make sense, and that I'm hearing there was a period of time that somebody had to wait between being able to do things because of a loved one's passing, and that this athlete is just feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders over this period of time, because it's a focal point for some reason. So for somebody, I'm hearing that it's really that this is actually a message of divine intervention from that situation, that that loved one's passing, and they're seeing that your guides and your angels are there with you, and that you've been suffering a really long time, but that now is really a time to be able to also bring a resolution to that. And I'm being told that karma has been cleared, and that whether or not that person that you might be waiting to sign off, I heard, on it, agrees or not, because I'm hearing for some of y'all that's maybe who this pissed off fire sign is. And for somebody else, it's about the one that got away, or whatever. But back on the one who's being memorialized somehow, they're saying that it's actually the price has been paid, and that you've been really stoic, and that this athlete is really just you just seeing how much you've put up with and learned to stand for in this process, and that it's actually purified you. They said that it was there was a purification process that happened with it, but I'm hearing that the karma was actually erased, and so you're going to know if that's specific to you or not. Can't be for everybody, I know, that's very, very specific, but I'm hearing it was really important for somebody to hear that from their guides, because they have been freaking suffering. And I hear that they're hearing a lot of bullshit from the peanut gallery about whether or not they've paid their penance, and that's really what's been getting in their head mostly, but that they're ready to make a break from that. And in some cases, that's why this Knight of Wands, using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, is showing up in the physical material realm. This could very well be a person. It could be you. If it's not you, it could be someone that's got strong fire element in their constitution. So maybe somebody with the sun, moon, rising, in fire, which would be, your Sag, Aries, Leo variety individual, or someone that's compelled to act similarly to a person with those strong attributes. So that's showing up, but it's like this. It's upside down. So in some cases, I'm hearing that that this had to do with a consequence, that this is what actually happened, that something was supposed to go this way, which is usually hey, it's a good direction. It can be a quick thing, it can be fiery, passionate, and short-lived, but I'm hearing that the plan got undermined somehow for some of y'all, and that's why it showed up like this. I heard non-starter, but I'm hearing for somebody else too that there was actually a really bad accident and somebody died, and that, you know, that's what some of this is about. And so I'm really sorry if that's the case. And I heard something about drunk driving, and it just being a real challenge to this individual, whether it's you or someone else, their own sense of pride and self, and that's what this is all about. So that can't be for everybody, but what is showing up in the mental realm here, Libra, is the Suffering and Silence card. This is the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, and this card, if we were referencing this deck, like the Rider-Waite-Smith, one of your more traditional style decks, this is going to be your Nine of Swords card. And so it's typically, you know, the person that's like up all night in bed and they got all those swords over their head and they're just like having nightmares or not sleeping very well. And I'm hearing in this one, though, this is actually probably a better spin for me for what I'm hearing. I'm hearing for some of y'all that that's what has been happening, and it's really just been about waiting for like a signature for somebody to sign off on something, and that it's been taking a lot of your strength. But they're saying, though, that you earned liberation in this. And I'm actually seeing this person, I'm just going to say female, okay? It can be she, he, they, other, whomever that is. Doesn't have to be you, but for some people, I'm seeing that actually being you, whatever gender, you know, you are, an individual in this position that's been waiting and suffering and looking for a brighter future. And what they're saying is that somebody is about to, like, basically make that happen somehow. And I'm hearing it has something to do with a pen stroke, or, you know, it's like something you're waiting on. They're saying it's getting ready to happen, but I'm literally seeing this person like get up and those mountains around them become wings and she like flies off. And it's really cool because, like, how I'm looking at it here, they're saying that that's what all this pressure was that's been on you, like the weight of the world, this pressure that's been like on you, it's like been purifying you. And I'm hearing for some of y'all it's been creating like a certain kind of density, and it's literally like building your aura and your ability to get on your path, because some of y'all are actually doing some ascension work and didn't even realize it. I'm hearing soulmate, but they're saying that you have a relationship that you need to be focusing on, and that it's primarily with yourself, because some of you all have been suffering in a way that hasn't been allowing you to really embrace yourself, and it's actually been the obstruction that's been blocking you from whoever this is that in some cases has been trying to come in. I'm hearing in some cases this is a person that has been blocked from being able to enter, and it's really just been because you've been too busy feeling guilty about something that is now in the past that can no longer be changed henceforth in the future. But they're saying that you have help. Let me give you a little other good advice about this card too. In this deck, 9 is the end. 9 is a 10, basically. If you're used to this deck, where things go like ace to 10, and then you've got, like, you know, your people cards and your majors. Well, in this deck, they only go 1 to 9. So this Suffering and Silence card, it's kind of like, if you're, you know, familiar with the other decks, it's not exactly just the Nightmare card. And it's not like the being stabbed in the back card. It's kind of like what happened already were those things, and this person is just like waiting out, like I think what I'm hearing is external acknowledgement that it is okay to stop that. I'm going to read to you what the book says. John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle Deck book. Alright, Libra, suffering in silence. The number 9 denotes completion. Are you finally ready to let go of those limiting negative beliefs, or are you allowing the issues in your life to become bigger than they really are? Your mind has been doing quite a job on you lately, and even your dreams may be trying to get your attention. When you learn to let go of the worry, despair, and sense of hopelessness, a positive new way or path will be shown to you. This card follows Trapped in Fear, the number 8 mental card. When your fears aren't confronted, your mental anguish will continue. This is a reminder to take action and trust that your soul and the power of spirit will grasp you firmly by the hand and guide you. But you must take the first step toward healing and let go of the mental distress. Don't suffer in silence. Reach out for the help that's available. And I'm being told for some of y'all, you know, it's just like, you need to go on like a retreat or something. I keep seeing those mountains there, and there's all this light coming from it, and it's like this, see that golden yellow color? It's like that golden yellow color that normally is a healthy sense of ego on this character when they're flying straight. When they're reverse, it's like their healthy sense of ego has gone to hell. Something like robbed them of that. And, you know, it's been like a heavy burden. It's like lots of fucking rocks in your backpack that you're like carrying around. And they're saying here is like, there's a place that you go, or you know you can go, where you can release yourself of those burdens. And see that yellow's there. It's like the thing that's going to help you reclaim that which pertains to the balance of your healthy sense of self, right? And they're saying you really deserve it. And I think for some of you, it's really, you know, you've been grieving over a relationship, and I'm hearing for some of y'all you got into a weird thing or had like a weird reversal thing happen during like these retrogrades and eclipses, and this has just been like a really weird year for a lot of people. And it's like weird, like you're in like, you know, like the twilight zone, but at the same time it's like it's defining things in a whole new light for so many of us. It's not just, you know, Libras. And the thing is that some people have just been changing so much and going through so much that they haven't really been, I'm hearing, getting enough time to kind of process it in a way where they even can enjoy what happened as a result of that painful thing being ripped out. And so, you know, for some of y'all, that's why this is, you know, showing up too, the 9 suffering in silence. And it's not even really like, you know, some people aren't even in pain over this, I'm hearing. That it's just like this past month, you know, dealing with Mercury retrograde and shit, it's been like, you've just been in your head, just like thinking about like all this shit that's happened and like how strong you've learned to be, you know. And I'm hearing that for some of y'all, it's like, this has just been like delayed starts, that you're like, you have ants in your pants and you're like, oh, I'm ready to go do this thing now. And that it's really just been because you've been waiting out a storm. And I'm hearing, though, for some of y'all, that if there was a reversal with the relationship, you're going to know if you really need to go back to that or not. In some cases, you know if it's a really bad idea and it's just a freaking shitty person. Because I'm hearing for some of y'all, you know, this was you leaving something fucked up, and you know it. And if that's the case, God bless you. And, you know, this message that I'm saying right now is not suggesting that you go back to that person. But for some of y'all, and you know who you are, something unclear happened or something stupid, and I'm hearing that it's time to work on your partnership. So you're going to know if you want to. Read you what the book says. All right, Libra. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. The romance angels see that your relationship is worth devoting effort to. Although there may be issues, these can be worked through and healed. You'll need to commit to the relationship to ensure the best chance of success. At the very least, if you do end it, you'll know that you gave it your all. You'll also understand the role that you played in its dynamics. In this way, you'll avoid attracting similarly painful situations in the future. You receive this card because there's hope for your partnership. The love is still there. Working with a counselor may be your best option at this point. This professional can identify areas of dysfunction and guide you both in healthier directions. And I'm hearing that for some of y'all, actually, that's why you're freaking suffering. It's like you've been waiting for somebody to like validate why you can get this divorce and leave somebody that was actually kind of like a fucking bully, is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing this was like that stick that's in that asshole's hand had to be removed from somebody's hand, and that's what you've been suffering through. And if that's the case, let me tell you, the relationship they're talking about here is to yourself and not to the abusive douchebag. You're going to know if it's for you. And I'm sorry if I have to use these strong words, but in some cases people need to hear it that way because they can feel that they need to stay in an abusive situation. And even if somebody's not coming at you with a big freaking stick, darling, there are other kinds of abuse that happen in a mental way and in a spiritual, emotional way. And if that is you right now, this message is saying that you need to embrace yourself like this. This is showing you what your relationship to yourself should always look like, no matter what relationship you're in with anybody else. If this is not right, nothing will be, okay? Hear that. Abuse is never warranted. And if you're leaving a situation or considering how to evacuate it, please get help. There's so many people that can help right now, and they're saying that you are pure and you are strong and you have had the weight of the world on your shoulders, and that, you know what, when this person's flying straight, they go pretty fast. This way, sometimes they're even faster. I mean, they can be blocked sometimes too, I have to say that. But in other cases, it's just like, your head didn't even get a chance to spin, because this guy can go in and out really fast. She, he, they, whoever that is. This way, I've seen it even just like, pew, bat out of hell. So, if you need to escape a situation, and this is pinging you, if you don't realize you have help yet, there is help there. Whether or not it has to do with romance, okay? Archangel Michael is saying that there's help, and so please access that. Please access that. In other cases, I'm seeing a business arrangement that was getting ready to happen. I'm hearing it's the bridge between worlds, actually, and that it's like people were missing each other, and that had more to do with Mercury retrograde than anything. But I hear that the ship is coming in, and they said that she's been waiting, and that they actually wants to put something together. And I'm seeing pen to paper. I'm hearing pen to paper, put pen to paper. And I'm hearing that you have help for that too. So you're going to know if that's for you or not. And I'm hearing some of y'all were just like waiting for the retrograde period to end. And hey, it's not a bad idea. Look, it was rough for a lot of people, but you know what? We can always pay attention to what's happening during these times, and sometimes delay certain decisions that we want to make. but waiting for like more auspicious times to do it. And I talked about it, I think maybe a few recordings ago, about the Walt Disney Company, that they actually formed during a Mercury retrograde. And, you know, a lot of things came together, you know, many things came together. All they waited to do was when to put the pen to paper and to actually, you know, do the formalization and file the documents. But that company, legendary company, came together under a Mercury retrograde. So, you know, many good things can happen. Me personally, I try not to sign papers and, you know, make or break agreements, you know, too much, you know, or make major purchases or anything like that during the retrogrades. And so I think a lot of you might relate to that, you know, and even if you weren't doing it on purpose, in some cases things just will be slowed down because we do have divine intervention and intercession, I'm hearing. And in some cases, the reason why something got slowed down that might have been frustrating people or situations, and maybe why this energy showed up in reverse like this, is because there was intervention. And it didn't look like it. It looked like fucking bullshit. And for some of y'all, it kept you up. Sleepless nights. Oh my God, what's happening, right? Well, you know what? They're saying it was because you were being helped. So, one way or the other, I'm hearing that some of y'all just really refined yourself in this process because it taught you something, and that there was actually some karma that was burned and released. And I'm being told to pay really special attention to, see that thing that's like swooping in over this guy? Girl, other, he, she, they. And now they're all dressed in white. It's like whatever it was that they were holding up, all that weight, it like erased some karma somehow. And it's like now they're on a clean slate. It's just what I heard. So you're going to know if it's for you, Libra, one way or the other. I'm feeling like they're just saying that this is a new beginning for a lot of y'all. Because one way or the other, this is a freaking champion showing up. That's you. I think that's most of y'all. Seeing how strong you've become, and that in some cases you've got the world in your hands. And not only is it in your hands, it's like you're strong enough and intelligent enough and clean-hearted enough to know what the fuck to do with it. And I'm hearing in some cases this delay, it's already over. They're showing me a 9 here, which in this deck, it's like you knowing that, you know, that process has already happened, and it's like ready, it's go time. So I'm going to leave it on the advice and the prayer from Archangel Michael here, that romance angels are helping you. And if you are with your love or trying to get with your love, I'm hearing that nothing can stop you. And then that person feels like you are their world, and that they will hold you and support you and treat you just like this guy's doing here. You know, it's like they're like proud. They look really proud. And I'm hearing that the reason why that person's in your life is because of how you have developed yourself. It says here, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. So, you know, if you're in love and you're wanting to know if it's worth giving it a shot, I'm hearing it just might be. So I'll leave you on that, Libra. I'm going to seal it up with a prayer. Dear guardian angels of my soulmate, thank you for preparing my soulmate and me for love, for giving us the motivation to make healthful life changes, and for arranging for us to meet. Thank you for helping us recognize each other and have the courage to say hello so that we can eventually delve into a truly intimate relationship. Amen. Alright, Libra, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, share, subscribe, tell a friend. If you want a prayer, go to artoflove.me and drop me a prayer on the welcome mat. If I don't hear from you, just have a happy solar return. I'll see you again in a couple of weeks when I'm back for your mid-monthly readings. Alright, Gonna clear up here, light a little something, and then we're gonna jump to Aquarius. What's going on, Aquarius? Happy October! Can't believe it's here, oh my gosh. I'm gonna go ahead and flip your cards. Alright, Aquarius. Where to jump? I'm gonna start with your Archangel card too. I feel the need to tell some of y'all you're protected. God's with you. They're saying God's with you. You need to know it right now. They're saying keep your eyes on the target here. It says keep your eyes on your targeted intention. And you need to know that even though you got some haters, because deception and envy showing up, 7 of Swords on the noodle. That's in your mental sector. You got some haters, Aquarius. And they're saying that it's because you're just so dang lovable. Overall archetypal energy for the month here, Aquarius. Lover. I hear some of y'all are just in love. I heard you're really, really, really in love. And physical material realm, we've got a tower. Ba-bam. Wedding. Somebody's getting married. Somebody's all fucked up in their head about it. They said in some cases you knew it was going to happen, but that happened anyway. I did that fast. Let's go ahead and break them down card by card, Aquarius. Overall archetypal energy for the first half of the month of October using Carolyn Mace's archetype deck. We've got the Lover. Light attributes. Great passion and devotion. Unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attributes. Obsessive passion that harms others. Self-destructive devotion. Wow, that's a lot. And interesting. I'm just like seeing, let's see here. I'm just gonna hold them for you because you can't see my spirit board because of how I'm rigged up here, but alright, so the Archangel card, you've got this like, I'm seeing this like Cupid, like a Cupid character, you know, being guided and it's gonna shoot this dart, right? And it's like coming for the couple here, and that bouquet looked like it just like flew over someone's head here, like it turned into this thing here. And then it launched up like a rocket, and it transported her over here. Same bouquet. So I was just seeing like the bouquet get like animated once Cupid shot, and that it just brought this loved one, and that there I hear that she's holding on for dear life, Aquarius. He, she, they. In some cases, it's just, I heard that it's like somebody actually like took your man or something, or it's like somebody stole the bouquet is what I heard. And that's what this is all about. It's like the partner got taken, and she's like, mine! And somebody's really upset, is what I'm hearing. So, you're gonna know if that's for you or not, but I'm hearing you have a focus. And for some of y'all, I'm just hearing it's like you have multi-focus. It's like there's more than one, and you need to pick one. That's what I'm hearing. Wow. Okay. Let's see what the book says on that archetype. Carolyn Mace's archetype cards. Lover. Alright, Aquarius. We've got 3 bullet points and a tip. First bullet point. May manifest in anyone who exhibits great passion and devotion to another, but also to art, music, gardening, nature, or needlepoint. The second one says, includes unbridled affection for and appreciation of someone or something that influences the organization of your life and environment. And the last one says, shadow lover manifests as an exaggerated or obsessive passion that has a destructive effect on your physical or mental health and self-esteem. And then the tip says, ask if passionate enthusiasm and or romantic love plays a dominant role in the overall design of your life and self-worth. And they're saying if that's the case, just really be careful. If you're the one that's embodying that shadow side, because I'm hearing for a lot of y'all, that's just like other people. They're just like jealous as hell. I'm hearing somebody lost their goddamn mind. I heard she lost her damn mind. And they're saying that, you know, that's that shadow stuff, you know, like unbridled, obsessive. So just like be careful, because like somebody's having a freaking tower, okay? And I'm not saying your house is going to blow up. Okay, yes, this could be an electrical fire. This could be all kinds of things. This could be like, you know, plumbing problems blowing through somebody's foundation. I'm hearing in some cases that might actually happen during Mercury retrograde. Actually, for some people, it was like kind of fucked up and you got ejected. It's like you got kicked out of your house for some reason. But for other people, I mean, you know, this might not actually be that kind of a physical phenomenon. I know it looks really scary, and there's fire and smoke and people flying out of place and screaming and all that. But I'm hearing that this is actually like somebody losing their damn mind here, and it's this person. And that has something to do with somebody's hookup. And I heard my man bitch. You'll know if it's for you. But physical material realm, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, you know, this is the Tower card, major arcana. You know, this could be something major happening in your life. It could just be just all of your ideas and everything having changed due to something having happened rather abruptly, because this is something that most times we don't see coming. I'm hearing in some cases, though, some people did see it coming, and it's just because y'all are freaking psychic as hell. 7, deception and envy on the mind, mental sector card in your mental arena, using the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book, or Oracle deck, deception and envy. So it's a mental card, it's a 7, and it's basically just saying that you're like aware of things, and I'm actually seeing this stuff that's been arising, this eruption coming from within, being the thing that precipitated this. So in some cases, I'm hearing y'all have been designing things and like working with your healthy sense of self and like making amazing plans that are like really starting to show your inner light and like all the stuff that you've like learned to be, and that people are just like losing their shit. They can't handle the chili you've been serving up, baby-o. Get some, get some. What you gonna do about it? How you like me now? Bam! Good shit happening. So in some cases, I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is not romantic at all. It says wedding. It looks kind of romantic, right? I'm hearing for some of y'all, though, match made in heaven, and that it really has to do with like a freaking explosive, badass business venture, and that you're doing something you freaking love, and it's like, that's the biggest prize. And that might be you, like, just feeling like, oh my god, this is awesome. And so this can play out different ways, but for those of y'all that that's what you're doing, it's like, you just know that some people are hating you because you rock. And because you're really good, and it's like, this person's like arming themselves with bitch shield. They're like, bitch shield activated. Bitch shield activated. So, one way or the other, you know, keep your focus, Aquarius, because they say you know what you're doing. I'm hearing sharpshooter. Ooh. Uh-huh. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they said one of y'all is like really good at billiards. And that, wow, I'm hearing that's how you met him. If you didn't know it, he might be like planning a really cool way to propose. I don't know. I hope I didn't ruin that. Let's see what the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book says about the 7 Deception and Envy card. Aquarius, aka 7 of Swords. Ooh, people like to call that one liar, cheater, thief. So I'm hearing in some cases too that that's what this is about. You didn't realize it, but somebody was like stealing some shit from you. Ooh, and I hear that they got busted, or they're about to get their shit blown up, and that this might be them showing up in your life. It's like, or you seeing the effects of what that wreaked on their world. And I'm hearing in some cases this got fucking called off. Whoa. Interesting. Alright, let's see what the book says. 7, Deception and Envy. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. This card comes at a time when individuals or conditions aren't what they appear to be. How well do you really know the people around you? Are they telling you everything you need to know? In business, make sure you gather all necessary information so that you're aware of and understand all the facts before continuing. You've worked hard. Don't let others take from you what is rightfully yours. Unfortunately, some people may be envious of your accomplishments. This card also represents a time of sudden and unexpected changes, or when plans that you're undertaking may not turn out exactly the way you envisioned. Have a plan B as a fallback strategy to prevent future problems. Use this card as a reminder to be prepared. It's better safe than sorry. And actually, I'm hearing for some of y'all that that's what it is too. I'm hearing false mask, liberation, and that like something's about to come clear, and it's gonna like lift off the veil, and that it's literally just gonna blow your freaking mind. And that for some of y'all, you were thinking something shady was happening because a lot of shady stuff has been happening and you've had to protect yourself, but that this is actually awesome. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is just a continuation of you being in love, because like Lover, upright Tower, slightly phallic, very phallic. Be careful if you don't want to get pregnant, Because some of y'all might be taking a shot that lands, is what I'm hearing. If you do want to get pregnant, now might be a great time to do it. And I'm hearing with the 7 here, they're saying that the plan has come together and that it's lined up. And I'm just seeing like the crossroads. They're showing me crossroads and like, looks like arrows of light coming together. And it's like this and this at the same time. And it's like, I don't know, I heard inception. Maybe it was conception. I guess it could be either. Alright. Let's see what the wedding card says. And the Doreen Virtues Romance Angels Oracle card deck book. Alright, Aquarius. If you're getting married, congrats. Somebody might be, or it doesn't have to be getting married. It can just be like, you know, coming together with something that could have that potential, or whatever that symbolizes to you as a union. But what the book says, wedding, this situation involves marriage. You drew this card because of an upcoming wedding, your own or someone else's. It comes to you because marriage plays a role in the answer to your question. For some people, this card could be a validation that you will get married and ask you to keep the faith and continue enjoying your life without worry about your future marital status. For others, this card signals that you'll meet a significant other at an upcoming wedding or experience something there that will lead to a new romance for you. It can also represent your parents' marriage and the way it affected your feelings and beliefs about relationships. In a few cases, this card asks you to look at your present and past marriages and review your feelings with the intention of healing your heart and your relationship. Perhaps it's a time to enlist a marital counselor to help you both sort out how you feel. And sometimes this card can signal the end of a marriage, in which case the angels support everyone involved as you come to an understanding about the experience and renew your heart's willingness to love. And I'm hearing for some of y'all that that's why when I was doing the channelings and shuffling at the beginning, I was seeing the thing about the division of assets and the pen and all that. And they were just saying that this is really about you literally taking a launch pad out of whatever that fucked up situation was, and that it's literally giving you wings. And that you are literally going to be launched out of that situation. And I'm hearing in some cases it's because they keep showing me like a cupid like shooting the bouquet out of that woman's hands. And I'm hearing in some cases it was a soulmate, but it was like a very karmic freaking soulmate. And that part of the reason why you got out of that situation, because I'm hearing for some of y'all it was enmeshed as hell. And it was like so hard that you seriously were contemplating some stuff that now I'm hearing you're like, oh my god, where was my mind? You know, I can't believe my mind went there. I keep seeing somebody like, oh my god, I can't believe I was thinking those things. And they're saying that, you know, you were literally like, I'm seeing like somebody like going in and it's like a hand of light like pushing you out, like trying to get you out of that situation. And they're showing it like grabbing the woman's bouquet, and they were just saying it was the wrong one. And so for some of y'all, you know, I'm hearing that lover right now is just telling you that, you know, you need to hang on to yourself and those things that remind you of the big heart that you have, that's your heart, okay? And that maybe your concept of this has been very externalized because of the type of crap that you've had to come up through and the way people have been acting and treating you, but that now is like a really good time to redirect the focus because you just left something pretty hellacious in some cases. And I'm hearing that if it was your marriage and that this was like, you know, you being like divinely like launched out of there, that you had somebody really help you. And that person, you know, You know, maybe you're not married to them, you know. It could even be a kid. It could be something that had to do with, you know, whatever this relationship was. But I'm hearing in some cases that it's actually you had somebody that kind of like, if it's not you doing this for somebody else, because this could go different ways. This could be you, Aquarius, you know, acting this way with somebody, or it could be somebody, you know, around you acting like that, or kind of acting on your behalf in that way. But I'm seeing somebody like literally kind of like being an angel and like, you know, just like going to assist the other, and it being like maybe you didn't realize that you were doing that, but it was like your presence was like really being appreciated. And I'm hearing that somehow, you know, it's really brought you into a situation where you've actually called somebody, they keep telling me soulmate, forward, that might be somebody that you can marry, or somebody that you want to be with, but I'm hearing that they want to be with you. And I'm hearing that she might be going all out for it. You know? And they said it gave her wings. And that this is actually her falling in love with you. Or him falling in love with you. Or them falling in love with you. This is like you both like rocking each other's worlds. You know? So that doesn't always have to be a bad thing. And in some cases, you know, that's going to stir up the haters around you. And you're going to have people being like, talking some shit. And like, they're just saying if that's the case, put on the bitch shield. Not getting a whole lot else on here, Aquarius. I think it's pretty succinct. I'm going to go ahead and seal this one up on your advice and prayer from Archangel Michael to keep your eyes on your targeted intention, because they said you're being divinely guided. You see all that light shooting up all over the place, going around that person's head? That's your higher self. They said in some cases you didn't even realize that the guides that you are calling on, okay, that you pray to, those higher aspects are actually you. And that you should know that you've actually called in angelic realms. Let this blow your mind. That stuff that's opening up your mind, the kundalini that's awakening here, your divine channel, your soul star chakra that's being opened, it's being opened to yourself. That divine guidance is your higher self, Aquarius. However you want to look at it, it's okay. They just said keep your eyes open because you're being led and your target is good. So get your steady footing. If something tried to like blow up your shit, especially if it had to do with like nasty haters, I'm just being told they can't handle it because you're being integrated. And for some of y'all, if there's nothing to do with a business partnership or anything else, this is you coming together with yourself. This is the divine cosmic union of the soul, operating as the one that you have always been, but never like you are now. And so, let that tower rock your world. Love yourself first and foremost. That big heart, Aquarius, is yours. Hold on to it and guard it and protect it and love it. Put on the bitch shield. Keep your eyes on your targeted intention. I'm gonna seal it up with your prayer. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask for your guidance in releasing any fears or doubts, granting me the confidence and courage to take action toward realizing my dreams. Amen. Alright, Aquarius, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit me up at artoflove.me if you'd like a personal private reading, or if you would just like to drop a prayer and have somebody pray for you. If I don't hear from you, enjoy the next couple weeks. I'll see you again for your mid-monthlies in October. I'm going to clear this up, and we're going to seal it all up on Gemini. What's shaking, Gemini? I just was lighting your sage. I'm getting ready to flip your cards. I haven't flipped them yet. And I heard ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And then they just said, I don't know if they said she or he. It might be both, for depending on which Gemini you are. It could be other whoever. But I just heard ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And then they either said she or he. They aren't your responsibility anymore. And so, I'm hearing for somebody that it was like really a bad relationship, really bad situation. I'm getting some heavy messages. Please feel free to ignore this if this isn't for you, and if it isn't, don't get upset, for yourself, but maybe send some empathy, because I'm hearing for somebody that someone had actually committed suicide, and that they left kind of a crazy letter. Like, they're saying crazy letter. I wouldn't say crazy letter because, I'm not like trying to demean somebody else, but I actually heard the words crazy letter, and I'm hearing it was definitely a soulmate situation. There was a lot of soulmate stuff coming up. I'm hearing not everybody dealt with the retrograde very well, and I just heard that this person was pretty depressed. And that you weren't actually a part of their depression. And I'm hearing that somebody's having a really hard time with this right now because their name was in the letter somehow. And so it's like there's just a lot of impact because of what happened. And wow, I'm just I'm praying for you, and if you need some help, I hope you're getting it. And everybody that's watching this, we're all together right now. We can like lift each other up. If this is for you, we're sending light your way and towards your loved one. And I'm being told that that person really didn't mean to like hurt you the way they did. It was a fucked up relationship. And they just were at the end. They were at the end of their limit. And you couldn't have known. And it wasn't your fault. Okay. Whew. Alright. That was really heavy, and I'm just gonna light something else again here. A little more sage, and then we're gonna flip the cards. Okay. Sorry if that was intense, Gemini. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry. What I'm sorry for is anybody that's hurt. I'm not sorry for that being intense. I'm very honored to be able to deliver a raw message, and the fact that for whatever reason I got chosen to deliver that one for somebody, because that's some really painful stuff that somebody's going through, and I hope that nobody has to go through that. So hopefully that only had to do with a very, very small segment of people. Flip your cards. Okay. I showed those really fast, but I just saw whoever's story that was again, and they were saying that the things that you didn't get to say, you can write them down, and that person was buried. I don't know if this is going to make sense to a whole lot of people, but I know this will make sense to somebody. That person was buried in the ground, and that I'm actually seeing somebody like taking a letter or something and like burying it, and that it's actually like the words that they needed to say back to the one who struggled with that addiction that may have passed over to the other side. They're saying you can actually have a sort of closure. So you know if that's for you. If you need help, hit me up, okay? Just go to my website, send me a message, I'll pray for you. But one way or the other, I'm being told for all of y'all, Gemini, God is in charge right now. And I know some of you need to hear it. I'm sorry if things have been scary and weird. You know, this could have a lot to do with the moon. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, you know, now's a really good time to set yourself in alignment with yourself, because we have a new moon coming up in Libra, which is sort of like a balancing of things. And here we have, you know, balancing of shadow of self. And anyway, the new moon in Libra is coming up at the end of this month on the 30th. So 4 days from today, I'm recording this on 9/26. So if you see this before October 1st, just know that the new moon in Libra is happening here in, you know, a small handful of days, and that now is a good time to say those things, you know, even if the person's not there to hear them, and that someone's actually helping you to get some closure with this, and that those messages are actually going up where they belong, okay? So you're going to know if that's for you or not. Go ahead and just break down your cards here now, Gemini, because those are some very specific messages that might not have a lot to do with everybody, but somebody's guides really wanted them to hear it. So one way or the other, y'all are all sharing the archetype for the first part of the month of the storyteller using Carolyn Meese's archetype cards. That card says light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Shadow attribute, making up tales that harm others. I'm hearing in some cases, the only reason why that's happening is because somebody has been trying to manipulate their way back into your life. And that's what this shadow is all about. And they're saying you know it, if that's the case too. I'm also hearing that this might be the person just being freaking immature. Because in your physical material realm, using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, Spirit's giving you the Page of Pentacles card, which can sometimes be a younger person, you know. They might have earth sign element. Might be one of your earth tribesmen. Somebody that's, you know, got some strong constitutional development in either Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. So it might be like Sun, Moon, Rising. But they're showing up like this if this is an actual person. And so I'm hearing it's just like immaturity. And so they're saying that, you know, it's really just because that person might have a codependency. I'm hearing in some cases to you, if this is a relationship thing with some of y'all, I'm hearing that, you know, it's been really shady. And that part of the reason why is because, you know, it was like a karmic thing. They're saying it was just like very toxic relationship. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that you were trying to heal yourself, whether or not you realized it, on a spiritual, deep, deep level. And that the only reason why you were really so attracted to that person is because you were both able to trigger like these really deep insecurities that were like shared shadow type of situations that you could mirror to each other. And that's why they really got under your skin. And I'm really sorry if that person like left in a tragic way, because I'm hearing that they just like couldn't cope, and that, you know, they might have been talking some shit too. And I'm hearing that there might have been some substance abuse involved, and that was just like what was going on here. You know, that's his addictions, my darling. And I'm really sorry if something hurtful got said. I'm hearing in some cases too that somebody didn't need to say that to you, and that you might not actually be hearing what was actually in the letter for somebody, that somebody's actually making it sound like something that it wasn't, and it's because they are having a hard time. I'm hearing the truth is going to come out, though. God's in charge, and one way or the other, if that doesn't happen, it's not your fault. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the book here real quick, and we're going to see what the Carolyn Mace Archetype Cards deck book says about storyteller. Alright, Gemini. Storyteller. We've got a couple of keywords they've given us, and we've got 3 bullet points in the tip. Storyteller, minstrel, narrator. First bullet point says, relays wisdom and foolishness, mistakes and successes, fact and fiction, on a plane that's often heightened beyond ordinary awareness, including metaphoric level of teaching. The second one says, reflects a desire to impose order on what sometimes seems like a chaotic and random universe. Shadow storyteller manifests when we can't resist making up a story to conceal something we don't want to be truthful about, or misusing a skill to our own advantage when sharing information. You don't have to be a professional writer, but a storyteller's voice and methods must be essential to your way of communicating and perceiving the world. Wow. Yeah, and I'm hearing in some cases that the person that's telling you that you're like responsible for this other person either relapsing, because I'm hearing in some cases like somebody got like back on the wagon. Is that how they say that? Or is it you're off the wagon? Are you on the wagon or off the wagon when you start using the substances again? I don't know. I'm not a wagon guy, okay? Actually, I guess I am. I drive a Volkswagen, but I digress. That's not the point I'm making. What I'm saying is that the person that I'm seeing is like consuming something. I'm seeing somebody smoking a lot. I'm seeing somebody drinking a lot. And, oh, I'm seeing somebody with a major sex addiction too. And they're saying to me that I'm hearing that somebody was in a relationship with this person and the person was like not doing any of that, and then they like broke up, and it's like now they're like all shadow, and they've like kind of reverted. Like they were being really patient and like learning a new direction and being very studious about the new direction they were going. It was self-fulfilling. They were feeling better about themselves, and then they just like took a really bad turn. And I'm hearing that somebody got institutionalized. And I'm hearing that somebody's being very fucked up and trying to get into one of y'all's head, or more of y'all, and telling you some bullshit that it's your fault. I just keep hearing, you drove him to, dot. And I'm hearing it's bullshit. I'm hearing that that person is actually, if it's their parent saying that to you, that this is actually an abusive parent that was hiding some shit, that did not want to be honest about what was going on with their kid, and they're the reason why their kid actually, like, has never been able to, like, break that cycle. And that's the lies they tell themselves. And you just got dragged into this bullshit because you were there, but you were actually the one that was supporting the person in this path. And you're not responsible for them falling off. God is in charge, Gemini, if that's the case. That's not you. Now, that's some people. In other cases, I'm hearing that some of y'all are actually not wanting to face the shadow of either yourself or someone in your world. And this could just be you, like, trying to balance this far-reaching places between yourself, too. Because in your mental realm, using the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, we've got the Shadow card, 18. This is the Moon in this deck. And a lot of times, this is just, like, things that are being elusive for us. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, the new moon is going to bring new light, okay? So get ready to pray and turn over a new leaf if you need to, and this is you just wanting to, like, take a new start, and you've just been delaying for whatever reason, because in some cases that's the case. But in other cases, I'm hearing that some of y'all have been really lying to yourself, and you're really having to face up to some truths, and that you allowed yourself to be in this situation too long, and in some cases it was for, like, a child, and maybe, for financial reasons. And I'm hearing that, if you were doing the best that you could, okay, and that you were just, it was a codependent situation, you were stuck there, and it was fucked up. You were dealing with this, and so if that's the case, I'm hearing God's in charge. Some of y'all are being exodused out of that crap, because it was some crap, real fucking crap. And I'm hearing for others of you, though, and this is where you want to be careful, don't be telling yourself some lies about, no, I don't have a problem. If you do, because you might. You might. And you're going to know if you do, because you're going to feel it. And I probably pissed you off for saying it. And you know what, sweetheart? Go ahead and be angry at me if that's the case. Don't tell yourself stories, okay? Because that would just be, if that's the case, you, like, not starting in a way that's going to fulfill you. Because this way, this is great energy. This person, if this is a person, if this is you, if this is anybody, if this is a character, whether or not you have strong earth tribal element, you might not be Taurian or Virgoan or Capricorn, Ian. This energy, it's grounded, it's attentive, it's focused. Look how focused that person is. And what they're focusing on is bringing light into their world. See, it's the same color as, like, all that sunlight around them. It's giving them a healthy glow, healthy sense of ego. It's covering their material needs. It's them thinking forward in a practical sense, right? But if they're under illusions, it's like they're just dropping the ball on all that. So I'm hearing, don't give up on your own infancy, you know, even if it's just a new beginning. They're saying it's okay to be a beginner. And don't be like feeling like you're shady or like you're not good enough or like you're bad just because you might have had an addiction or have an addiction. You're not bad. Don't be making some shit up like that and telling yourself stories. And if you had some people telling you that and like making you like you were bad, you know what, sweetheart? That's people that were like afraid of their own shadows. And they're saying in some cases, you know that. And that's why on your mind, showing up with the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, we've got that moon card, 18 shadow showing up. And that shadow, 18, moon, reduces to a 9, which is also the hermit, right? Which is kind of what this person looks like, right? Who is an elder. That's somebody that's learned a lot. And so, you know, they've actually gone on a dark path, lighting up their own way with the light inside of themselves. A little tiny light. It's the little voices that they were listening to. So you know if somebody's been getting in your way and allowing you to get in your own way by telling you some things that are actually more true about themselves than they are about you. And especially if it's somebody you love or that supposedly loved you or loves you, relationships like family and shit, those tend to be codependent on some level. They do. Codependency doesn't have to be a bad thing. So when I say codependent, you know, it's not like trying to call you out in a negative way. You know, I think we're all like, we're interdependent, right? We need one another in different ways. And so we become codependent on the things around us and the people. And that can be why sometimes things can get really elusive when we're doing all this mirroring back and forth of each other. And, you know, it can just be really challenging sometimes. But I'm hearing for some of y'all, you really need to know that there's a higher power and a higher order that is at play here, that's watching over this. And I'm hearing in some cases, see that sort of light right there that's coming through? It's kind of like the staff coming through between. It's going to be what separates the light and the dark so that it's a little bit more clear for some of y'all, so that you are entering into a dialogue of a story that you actually want to be living. Because I'm hearing some of y'all that that's all that this is here, is it's like you've been like, where do I plant this seed? You know, I'm trying to make this new start and I'm not really sure what to do. And I'm hearing for a lot of y'all, it's just like you're questioning your life path. And I'm hearing that, you know, it's actually not like a bad thing that you're doing that. It's a good thing to do that because it's just reminding you what you've grown through and that you're just not like being too impulsive. And that's the cautionary note with this, because if this is you, sometimes this person, if they haven't given up, when they're showing up upside down, if this is an actual person, if this is not a situation how it's happening, this person sometimes just gives up a little too soon. And so I think they're just saying, you know, be careful with yourself on that there, Gemini, because you actually have some really good stuff here. And any time that you've got divine assistance coming underway and there's like a sword of truth that's available and you've got this kind of mojo to work with, storyteller, they're saying that it's kind of like up to you how you want to do this. So turn on your powers of manifestation. I think that if you are especially like, you know, mulling things over like the retrograde period, that you've probably come up with some ideas and that you can really pay attention to what those are. Put an actual physical pen to paper and allow your hand and your arm to move and that energy to flow through you, because see that? I'm seeing like a sword of truth here. And I'm not saying don't type on your computer, that's good too, but I'm getting a really good like hit on whatever this like kinesthetic bond is going to be coming through your upper channels, and you taking that into your hand and putting it on some freaking paper. just an idea. Let's see what the Psychic Tarot Oracle Deck book says about the 18th Shadow card here for you. This is a major card, Gemini. You know, these major cards, you know, there's not a whole lot of them in a really big deck. Anytime they show up, it's really just drawing a special emphasis to the point that this is pivotal. It's the kind of stuff that changes how we do things, you know? Major events in our life, major forces, and they're just saying right now that that thing that sometimes you question about being like dividing you and making you feeling like you're on either your light or your shadow side, you know, or any codependencies that are coming up into your mind, feelings, insecurities around that, that's actually where you're going to find your liberation. And so they're just saying don't give up on yourself is what I'm hearing. And if you need to fight for that, you're worth the fight, Gemini. I'm going to read you what this book says. 18 Shadow. This card represents emotion, sensitivity, and a reminder that nothing in life is at a standstill. This is a world of constant flux, and one thing is certain. Everything changes. This card is calling you to action. The time is now, when you may have to face your worst fears and look into dark shadows of your soul. You must learn to confront what you've avoided and walk courageously through it. Always know that life naturally revitalizes itself, and as it does, so do you. The Shadow card promises that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Recognize that by no longer denying your past and letting the tears fall, you'll discover the diamonds in the treasure chest of your soul. This is a cleansing process to wash away and clear out what was once avoided, ignored, or pushed aside. This card indicates that this is a time when your psychic sensitivity may be quite intense. Learn to open up to it, or if need be, to turn it down. Your body is one big psychic antenna, so just remember that you're in control of how high or low you want the reception to be. Mother Earth can assist you in this period of change, sensitivity, and healing. Traditional tarot archetype, the moon. Wow, I was seeing something really cool. I was reading that too, Gemini. For some of y'all, I'm hearing that this upside down feeling is you having actually found yourself in a position where you were digging deep, is what I'm hearing. Digging deep. Looking for the fucking diamond that was buried in the waste receptacle. And that what you're really doing is it's like you're kind of like replanting it, is what I was seeing. And that this was actually sort of like a good motion that you put yourself through. And they're just saying don't like keep yourself down there too long though, because the biggest cautionary note is just like getting into your own mind in a way where you start telling yourself that you're not good or you're not bad, especially if there's just been some bullshit programming around it. And we've all gotten that bullshit programming. And that's not to say that if you have a codependency that it's not real or that you shouldn't deal with it. Yes, get your help. Do what you need to do. Especially if you've got, like, you know, something bad affecting you and it's, like, not good and you are, like, digging in the dirt for other reasons, you know. But they're just saying, like, for most of y'all, this is just really, like, you telling yourself, like, false truths, and it's because you've been hearing some crap and you've had, like, haters. And I'm hearing glutton for punishment. And they're saying that some of y'all literally are, like, constantly, like, entertaining this shadow for some reason. And they're saying you're having a hard time letting go. And for some reasons, I mean, maybe it's, like, family members and shit, and you just, like, haven't been able to. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am hearing that some of this stuff you need to put to rest. And you're going to know if it's for you. And if you need help, please get help, Gemini. And I'm hearing that some of y'all just know that you have had help. And that God's been with you. And that that's the only reason why you've been able to, like, face all this stuff. And that really, this is just like, this is like a time where, you know, if you're showing up like this, you know, I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's really just because you were very concerned with how others were looking at you. and that this has more to do with, you know, you being trapped in that. So it's really about your self-esteem. That's why all that yellow is there. And for others, I'm just hearing too that it's really about your kid. And so, you know, if that's the case too, they're just saying, you know, make the most of the time that you have with them. I'm hearing for some of y'all, you know, your child might have been taken away. That this was like a divorce situation, and that it's actually about what do they call that? Oh man. Custody. Co-custody. I'm hearing it's about custody. And I'm hearing for somebody that they might be losing custody, and just to know that God is in charge. I'm hearing that the situation is actually going to be favorably retold. I'm hearing in some cases that it was like something that was really like, it was unjust though, that it was like not good, and that you've been really upset about it. But they're saying too that, you know, you have like a special thing that you're doing with your kid, and I'm hearing something about story time. So you're going to know if that's it. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, you have to do it by phone. But they're saying, though, that, you know, even though you're not together with your kid, God is in charge, and that this is actually your child, like, waiting to pick up the phone and hear from mom or dad because they enjoy the stories you're telling them. So I don't know if that's for you or not, but if it is, you know, they're just saying you're going to find a lot of peace in that, and that you needed to hear that message, and that your kid actually loves the stories. Keep doing that, okay? Alright, so let's see what the Romance Angels Oracle deck book says about the codependency card. Alright, Gemini, codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. This card answers your question in perhaps a surprising way, because addictions are the culprit behind the issues you're attempting to resolve. This could be your own craving for a substance or unhealthful behavior, or it could be that your partner's addictions are impacting your love life. The card is also an indicator of childhood experiences in an addictive family. Addictions numb the heart to pain, but they also diminish its capacity to love. Since love is the basis of your romantic partnership, addictions become a barrier to moving forward toward true emotional intimacy. This is especially true if you are twisting yourself in knots to please a person whose dependency has lessened his or her capacity for happiness. That no-win situation will negatively affect your self-esteem and your own happiness if you continue. Fortunately, lots of support is available worldwide in the form of 12-step meetings and other addiction support fellowship models. Whether it's you or your romantic partner who has the addiction, you can find free groups near you through the internet searches or by contacting a local community health center. Wow. I'm actually hearing for some of y'all too that it was a great thing that you left that relationship. They're actually showing me that I'm seeing a man here. This can be anybody, though. This might be one specific story. I'm seeing a man, like, literally, like, fighting with somebody and, like, coming at them and, like, beating on them. And, like, somebody just, like, blocking the child. And that's what that is. And I'm just hearing, though, if that was you and you left that situation, that, it was actually a really good thing. And that, you know what, if you've got some family talking some shit about he's not that bad or whatever, I don't know. I'm seeing that you, like, might have prevented this person from, like, really injuring a small person in a way that maybe couldn't be turned around. So, I'm just hearing you've learned so much. And that this is a good time to be telling yourself the most empowering dialogue about you. And that this is a good couple of weeks to do some solar plexus work, Gemini. Work on your solar plexus. You, all parts of you, the far-reaching pieces of yourself, they're all there for a reason. And just because it hasn't come together yet doesn't mean that all of you can't peacefully cohabitate here. And so if you just need a little help, guess what? There are groups for it. So I urge you to look and just remember that God's in charge. If you want somebody to pray for you, hit a brother up. rlove.me, I do it. If you want a personal, hit me up. If not, I'm going to seal this up on a prayer for you. God's in charge. Gemini. Dear God, please help me let go of this situation, giving it in faith and trust to your divine wisdom and infinite love in order to resolve and heal everything and everyone involved. Amen. I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense for you, Gemini. If it did, thumbs up, share, subscribe, tell a friend that it might help. And really, truthfully, hit me up if you do want the prayer. Get some help if you need it. A lot of people are here helping. And if I don't hear from you, I'm just going to keep you in my prayers anyway. And I'll be back in a couple weeks when I'm back for the October mid-monthly readings. So until then, take care. God bless.